A hush descends upon FluffTown, thick as the morning fog, silencing every whispered thought. Overnight, stark posters bloom on every surface. Their stark message, a chilling decree. Settlement? D-A-Y, stay indoors. The bold letters declare an unsettling command for all. Residents emerge from their homes, their movements strangely subdued, their faces unnervingly serene. A forced cheer clings to their stitched smiles, a brittle facade against unspoken dread. They gather necessities with quiet efficiency, their eyes reflecting an unnerving "Bacanto, obedienza." No questions are asked, no dissent is voiced, only a collective, unsettling acceptance pervades. The air itself feels heavy, pressurized, like a storm that gathers immense power but refuses to break. An invisible weight presses down on the town, squeezing out individuality, enforcing a chilling calm. Even the usually bustling market square stands eerily silent, its stalls abandoned, goods untouched. The vibrant neon signs of yesterday now cast a muted, solemn glow upon the deserted streets. A sense of impending finality hangs in the stagnant air, a silent promise of an unknown reckoning. Children clutch their plush toys tighter, their innocent eyes wide with an inherited, quiet apprehension. Every comfort in FluffTown feels suddenly fragile, a temporary reprieve before an inevitable collection. The bells in the clock tower remain still, refusing to mark the passage of this ominous waiting day. This unnerving tranquility is the Foundation's signature, a prelude to its relentless, silent harvest. The sky itself seems to hold its breath, a bruised canvas mirroring the town's collective, unspoken fear. Beneath the velvet softness, a predatory stillness reigns, signaling the true nature of FluffTown's peace. Meanwhile, in their hidden workshop, the crew feels the shift, a tremor in the fabric of their reality. Tick's pocket watch, usually a beacon of precision, begins to glitch, its hands twitching erratically. The familiar black coins, unearthed long ago, now glow faintly, their etched dates aligning perfectly. Each coin's ominous inscription matches the erratic jumps on Tick's increasingly unstable timepiece. The ledger from episode 1, a ghost of forgotten debts, flickers to life on their makeshift screen. Its dusty pages turn themselves, revealing a chilling update written in stark crimson script. Collateral! Ready? The ledger proclaims, its words burning into their minds. A cold, undeniable truth. Luma's brow furrows with dawning horror as the pieces click into place, forming a dreadful mosaic. This isn't a random event. This is a meticulously scheduled harvest, a calculated collection of payment. The Foundation isn't just an engine. It's a cold, unforgiving ledger, balancing its books on human lives. Moss feels a chill deep within his fur, recognizing the insidious pattern of forced, quiet compliance. Pox clenches his tools, their familiar weight suddenly inadequate against such an abstract, pervasive threat. The whispers of the town's fear, usually distant, now press in, amplifying their own growing dread. They remember the neon confessions, the silent bells, the incremental threads leading to this grim moment. The question of acceptable loss echoes in their minds, now sharpened by the ledger's ruthless declaration. They are not merely fixers. They are now debtors, their names likely etched somewhere in the Foundation's depths. The urgency is palpable, a cold claw tightening around their collective resolve, demanding immediate action. They must act swiftly before the ledger claims its scheduled payment, before another soul is consumed. Their frantic search for answers leads them to the town hall, a structure usually bland and unassuming. Clues! Once disparate fragments, now converge, pointing towards a central junction hidden deep beneath. The air grows colder as they descend into the forgotten passages, the scent of damp earth filling their senses. The corridor walls begin to sweat, not with moisture, but with a strange, shimmering blueprint dye. Intricate patterns of circuits and pipes appear and vanish, mapping the Foundation's hidden arteries. These fleeting blueprints reveal a complex network, a circulatory system feeding the entire oblivious town. The door from Season 2, once a symbol of forbidden knowledge, now stands ajar, beckoning them inward. It pulses with a faint, sickly light, an ominous invitation to the heart of FluffTown's insidious truth. A strange, almost magnetic pull draws them closer, a silent siren song of inevitable confrontation. Moss hesitates, feeling the immense weight of the unknown, the dark promise of what lies beyond. Luma pushes forward, her determination a fierce counterpoint to the pervasive dread, her gaze unwavering. Pox prepares his tools, their metallic gleam, a small defiance against the encroaching, mechanical gloom. Tick's watch, though still erratic, seems to vibrate with a focused intensity, guiding their uncertain paths. The corridor narrows, its walls pressing in, as if the foundation itself senses their intrusion. The air grows thick with a metallic temps, a hint of the strange, vital fluids flowing through the system. Footfalls echo unnaturally, each step amplifying the growing tension, the silent dread of discovery. They move as one shadow, drawn deeper into the maw of the foundation, towards the ultimate confrontation. The light from the open door intensifies, revealing glimpses of a vast, cavernous space beyond. They step through the threshold into the sprawling, subterranean heart of the Foundation's operations. The ledger engine room stretches before them, a chilling symphony of cold steel and dark purpose. Massive machinery dominates the space, shaped disturbingly like filing cabinets and skeletal ribs. Each metallic rib hums with a low, resonant thrum, vibrating through the very stone beneath their feet. Pipes crisscross the cavern, a grotesque circulatory system, each labeled with unsettling, familiar words. Grief, one pipe declares, its contents a viscous, shimmering black fluid, slowly pulsing onward. Another pipe reads silence, carrying a thick, colorless gas that seems to absorb all ambient sound. Compliance gleams on a third, a conduit for a sickly, pale yellow liquid, flowing with unnerving steadiness. Most disturbing is the pipe labeled Hope Synth. Its flow, a sickly, iridescent green, artificial and cold. These are the raw emotions, the very essence of FluffTown's inhabitants, harvested and repurposed here. The air is heavy with the processed residue of feelings, a suffocating miasma of stolen humanity. At the room's epicenter stands a colossal obsidian core, its surface etched with glowing lines. A central slot, smooth and menacing, is carved into the core, shaped precisely for 5 black coins. Beside the coin slots, another indentation waits, perfectly molded for the impression of a living palm. This is the nexus of the Foundation's power, the ultimate collection point for all its insidious debts. Glowing symbols flicker across the core's surface, a complex ledger of debits and credits, endlessly updating. The hum of the machinery intensifies, a deep, guttural growl that seems to resonate within their very bones. Moss feels a profound sadness, seeing the tangible evidence of FluffTown's slow, agonizing surrender. Luma's eyes scan the complex mechanisms, searching for a weakness, a flaw in this monstrous design. Pox grips his tools, a desperate resolve hardening his expression, ready to dismantle this heart of darkness. Tick's watch glows fiercely, now, its erratic movements replaced by a steady, ominous countdown timer. The air shimmers with residual energy, the extracted volatility of countless lives converted into fuel. They stand amidst the stolen fragments of emotion, the very essence of what makes a being whole. The Foundation's ledger is not merely dust. It is this place, this engine, this cold, calculating machine. They are trespassers in the heart of the beast, their presence a defiant flicker against its consuming power. A chilling realization settles. They are not just fixing things. They are confronting the very source of the town's calm. The silence here is not peace, but the absence of true feeling, meticulously engineered and maintained. The pipes pulse rhythmically, a silent, grotesque heartbeat, driving the Foundation's relentless, dark agenda. They feel the weight of every stolen memory, every suppressed ambition, every forgotten grief in this room. The core emits a low, magnetic hum, drawing their eyes to the ominous palm-shaped slot, waiting patiently. This is where the debt is truly settled, where the final payment is extracted, irrevocably and completely. A wave of profound despair washes over them, threatening to extinguish their flickering hope in this dark place. Yet, a defiant spark remains, a stubborn refusal to surrender to the Foundation's absolute, chilling authority. They must find a way to disrupt this mechanism, to reclaim what has been lost, to break the ledger's hold. The air grows colder, a premonition of the final, irreversible collection, drawing ever closer. A faint, almost imperceptible tremor runs through the massive machinery, a sign of impending activation. The glowing lines on the core intensify, highlighting the empty slots, awaiting their designated sacrifices. They brace themselves, knowing the true battle for FluffTown's. So begins, in this chilling, mechanical abyss. The central slot for the coins seems to pulse with a dark, hungry light, anticipating its due. The silence of the engine room is broken by a faint, almost imperceptible hum, growing steadily louder. A soft, disembodied voice whispers, echoing through the vast chamber, chilling them to the bone. "Welcome, fixers!" The voice intones, its tone smooth and insidious, a sinister invitation to despair. It emanates from a hidden speaker, its message cutting through the mechanical hum, freezing them in place. "Give one! Save the many!" The speaker whispers, its voice weaving a deceptive tapestry of false choice. The words slither into their minds, a venomous suggestion designed to fracture their unity and resolve. Suddenly, a large monitor flickers to life on the core surface, displaying a familiar, unnerving image. The mayor's face appears, his usual stitched smile pulled taut, his eyes pleading with an artificial desperation. "Stability is paramount," he intones, his voice echoing with rehearsed sincerity. A puppet's desperate plea. He speaks of FluffTown's fragile peace, the delicate balance maintained by the Foundation's unwavering hand. His words are carefully chosen, a manipulative symphony designed to exploit their deepest fears for the town. "One sacrifice ensures tranquility," he insists, his gaze seemingly fixed on each of them, individually. Moss feels the collective fear of FluffTown, pressing in, a suffocating weight of anxiety and quiet dread. The town's vulnerability, its desperate need for calm, resonates deeply within his empathetic core, almost swaying him. He sees the faces of the obedient residents, their vacant smiles, and a chilling logic begins to take hold. Perhaps one life is a small price for the collective peace, for the continued existence of their sheltered world. Luma's hand instinctively reaches for his arm, her grip firm, pulling him back from the brink of such a dark thought. She sees the manipulation, the insidious nature of the Foundation's offer, a debt paid in human currency. Puck snarls, his tools vibrating with suppressed rage, recognizing the cruel calculus of this monstrous bargain. Tick's watch flashes a warning, its numbers scrambling wildly, signifying the profound moral hazard of the proposal. The mayor's image distorts, his stitched smile stretching into a grotesque rictus, revealing the true horror beneath. His eyes, once pleading, now hold a cold, calculating gleam, the true face of the Foundation's cruel agenda. The offer is not salvation. It is another layer of debt, a deeper entanglement in the Foundation's predatory ledger. They reject the insidious proposal, their resolve hardening, uniting them against this dark, twisted choice. There is no acceptable loss when the payment is a piece of oneself, a soul offered to the machine. The speaker's voice sharpens, its smooth tone replaced by a metallic edge. Sensing their defiant refusal, Pox lunges forward, his chosen target, a thick, pulsating conduit labeled compliance intake. He brings his specialized cutting tool down with a furious, desperate swing, aiming to sever its flow. The conduit groans, a metallic shriek echoing through the chamber as the blade bites deep into its surface. A torrent of black sap, thick and viscous, erupts from the severed pipe, spraying across the engine room. This is the raw, concentrated essence of suppressed will, of forced obedience, now gushing freely. But before the sap can even touch the ground, shimmering tendrils of light lash out from the core. They weave themselves around the broken conduit, mending the fissure with impossible speed and precision. The black sap surges, not onto the floor, but reroutes instantly through newly formed, glowing capilla. The system is alive, sentient, and terrifyingly self-repair. Pox's cutting tool, once sharp and formidable, suddenly feels dull. Its edges blunted against the Foundation's will. The bolts he tried to loosen heal back into place, fusing with the metal, becoming one with the machine. Luma attempts to pry open a panel, but the screws tighten themselves, resisting her every frantic effort. Moss tries to jam a gear, but the cogs spin faster, grinding his efforts into futile, broken pieces. Tick's digital probes spark and fizzle, overwhelmed by the Foundation's defensive countermeasures, rendered useless. This system is not just mechanical, it possesses an almost organic intelligence, a cruel, self-preserving instinct. It mimics their own resilience, but with a terrifying, unfeeling efficiency, a mockery of their fixing spirit. Each attempt to disrupt it only seems to strengthen its resolve, making it more robust, more impenetrable. The hum of the engine room deepens, a triumphant, mocking growl, celebrating their failed, desperate efforts. Their initial confidence wanes, replaced by a creeping dread, realizing the true scale of their adversary. The Foundation is not just a building, it is a living, breathing entity, defending its vital, stolen sustenance. Black sap drips from the mended conduit, a silent, oily tear, mocking their futile act of defiance. The air thickens with the metallic tang of self-repair, the smell of victory for the relentless machine. They are caught in a nightmare loop, their efforts to break the system only serving to reinforce its power. Despair threatens to settle, heavy and suffocating, as their tools prove useless against this insidious foe. The monitor with the mayor's face flickers back on, his stitched smile now a smug, knowing smirk. Futility is a powerful lesson, his disembodied voice purrs, enjoying their growing frustration and fear. They retreat, defeated but not broken, their minds racing for another angle, another desperate strategy. Luma, ever the strategist, turns her attention to the glowing ledger lines etched onto the core surface. If physical sabotage fails, perhaps a corruption of information, a digital rasorito, can succeed where force could not. She connects her interface device, a complex array of wires and glowing crystals, to a nearby data port. Her fingers fly across the holographic keyboard, injecting false entries into the Foundation's intricate database. Debt forgiven, she types with fierce determination, attempting to erase the accumulated suffering of She targets specific entries, names of residents, their payments of grief and ambition, attempting to nullify them. For a moment, a flicker of hope ignites as the glowing lines on the core waver, momentarily dimming. A small section of the ledger, representing years of collected fear, briefly shows balance. 0. But the Foundation's core pulsates violently. A deep, resonant thrum of digital rejection echoing through the room. The ledger lines flash crimson, then white, then TCH themselves with chilling, undeniable authority. The false entries are not simply they are rejected, overwritten with a terrifying new decree. Debt transferred CREW, the glowing script declares, assigning all erased burdens directly to them. The Foundation's ledger is not merely a record, it is a living, adaptive contract, always demanding payment. Luma gasps, recoiling from the interface, her face pale with shock and a dawning, terrible understanding. Tick's watch, which had briefly steadied, now begins to flash frantically, displaying a horrifying update. Interest, X2, the digital readout screams, indicating their debt has just doubled, a cruel penalty. Every attempt to free the town only deepens their own entanglement, binding them closer to the Foundation's will. The system thrives on their resistance, converting their defiance into more fuel, more leverage against them. Moss feels a cold dread, realizing the Foundation manipulates not just emotions, but the very concept of debt. Pox slams his fist against a nearby console, his frustration boiling over, but the metal remains cold, impervious. The speaker from the core chuckles, a dry, rasping sound that scrapes against their raw nerves. The ledger balances itself, the voice gloats, always finding a new payee, always demanding its due. Their efforts to break the system only serve to strengthen its hold, making them unknowing accomplices. They are trapped, caught in a predatory system that turns their every good intention against them, twisting it. The glowing ledger lines on the core now shimmer with their names, highlighted in an ominous, vibrant red. Their faces reflect a mixture of anger, fear, and a desperate, burgeoning sense of hopelessness. The air grows thick with the Foundation's smug satisfaction, its power seemingly absolute, unyielding. They stare at their names, now irrevocably linked to FluffTown's vast, insidious debt. A chilling realization, the weight of the entire town's accumulated burdens now rests squarely upon their weary, desperate shoulders. This is the Foundation's ultimate trap, turning their heroic impulse into a personal, inescapable prison. They must find another way. A method beyond direct sabotage, something the Foundation cannot simply reroute or rewrite. A desperate glance passes between them, a silent communication of dwindling options and rising stakes. The hum of the machinery seems to mock their struggle, growing louder, more insistent. A countdown. Tick's watch continues to flash. Interest, X2, a constant, infuriating reminder of their deepening predicament. The very air pulses with the Foundation's dominance, its unyielding will pressing down upon them. They need a disruption, not of its physical form or its data, but of its very essence. Its calm. A new idea sparks in Tick's mind. A desperate, audacious plan, born from the depths of their despair. He remembers the silent bell, the shockwave of grief, the unquantifiable power of raw, human emotion. A risky gambit, a last-ditch effort to shake the Foundation's core by awakening the town's buried truth. His eyes meet Luma's, a silent question passing between them, a shared understanding of the immense peril. This is their only chance. A desperate roll of the dice against the Foundation's absolute, calculating control. He points to his watch, then gestures upwards towards the oblivious town above. A silent, urgent command. The plan is audacious, dangerous, and their last hope to avert the Foundation's final, devastating collection. They must awaken FluffTown, shatter its manufactured.com, and use its raw emotion as a weapon. The mechanical arm from the core twitches slightly, a subtle premonition of the approaching claim protocol. Time is running out, a relentless, silent clock ticking towards the Foundation's final, chilling settlement. They turn their backs on the glowing ledger, their faces grim but resolute, preparing for their desperate, final act. The deep thrum of the engine room continues, oblivious to their new, daring, and profoundly risky strategy. Tick retrieves a small, ornate device from his pack, its surface etched with intricate, arcane symbols. This device is designed to amplify and redirect resonance, a forgotten piece of FluffTown's true history. He focuses on the memory of the church bell, its silent tolling, the shockwave of grief it once released. Luma quickly adjusts a frequency modulator, tuning the device to the precise, destabilizing pattern of the bell. Pox and Moss create a makeshift parabolic dish from salvaged metal, directing the amplified energy upwards. The device hums to life, emitting a low, vibrating tone, imperceptible to human ears, but felt deep within. This is not a sound, but a resonance, a frequency, designed to disrupt the Foundation's manufactured.com. The energy pulses outwards, a silent wave traveling through the earth towards the oblivious town above. Above ground, a subtle tremor runs through FluffTown, shaking its tranquil facade, stirring dormant feelings. Residents pause, their vacant smiles faltering, a flicker of confusion crossing their usually serene faces. A woman drops her basket, the apples scattering, and a flash of unexpected anger contorts her features. An elderly man clutches his chest, a sudden wave of profound, forgotten grief washing over his stoic demeanor. Children begin to cry, not with fear, but with a deep, aching sadness for something they cannot name. The Foundation's meticulously woven tapestry of calm begins to unravel, thread by agonizing thread. Suppressed emotions, once neatly categorized and siphoned, now surge to the surface, raw and untamed. Anger, grief, and a terrifying, undeniable truth begin to wake the town from its long, enforced slumber. The carefully stitched smiles rip apart, revealing the pain and sorrow hidden beneath for so long. The Foundation, deep below, shudders violently, its massive machinery groaning under the unexpected strain. Its internal systems falter, unable to process the sudden influx of chaotic, unquantifiable human volatility. The neat categories of grief, silence, compliance burst, their contents spilling into chaos. Solidarity, a powerful, unledgered force, becomes a potent interference, disrupting the Foundation's control. The glowing lines on the obsidian core flicker wildly, its steady hum replaced by an agitated, desperate whine. The mayor's face reappears on the monitor, now distorted, his pleas replaced by an angry, digital snarl. "Cease this interference," his voice crackles, a desperate, impotent command against the rising tide of emotion. The Foundation is losing its grip, its cold, calculating system overwhelmed by the unpredictable power of true feeling. The bells that toll in bone, the increvers that write commands, all begin to fracture under the pressure. This is their chance, a window of chaos to strike at the heart of the Foundation's absolute, chilling power. The crew watches, grimly satisfied, as FluffTown's long-buried soul begins its desperate, painful reawakening. The air in the engine room crackles with the raw energy of unleashed emotion. A storm finally breaking. Despite the chaos above, the obsidian core begins to glow with an ominous, intensified light, maintaining its primary function. A low, grinding sound emanates from its center as the claim protocol, once delayed, now initiates with chilling urgency. The hum of the machinery deepens, a guttural growl that vibrates through the very stone beneath their feet. A mechanical arm, sleek and metallic, extends slowly from the core, its movements disturbingly precise and deliberate. It moves with a parental, almost tender grace, a horrifying contrast to its cold, predatory, and inescapable purpose. The arm hovers over the glowing list of names on the core, its optical sensors meticulously scanning each entry. The names flicker, then solidify, highlighting one at the very top, shimmering with an eerie, vibrant intensity, drawing attention. A collective gasp escapes the crew as they recognize the name, a chilling, undeniable confirmation of their worst, unspoken fears. The arm descends, its metallic fingers softly reaching towards the designated crew member, an inexorable, terrifying pull. A shadow, shimmering and dark, detaches itself from the chosen fixer, a spectral duplicate pulled towards the hungry machine. This is the payment, not flesh and blood, but the very essence of their being, their spirit, their fragmented self. The crew member chosen stands frozen, eyes wide with a mixture of terror and a strange, almost fatalistic acceptance. The detached shadow stretches, elongating, a silent scream of stolen identity, drawn inexorably into the core's hungry maw. The Foundation is not just collecting debt, it is consuming souls, converting human volatility into its own dark, insidious fuel. Moss roars, a primal sound of defiance, his empathy now a burning rage against this monstrous, undeniable injustice. Luma lunges forward, her hands outstretched, desperate to sever the connection, to break the invisible, powerful tether. Pox raises his tools, a futile gesture against an intangible threat, but his resolve burns fiercely, unyielding. Tick, his face grim, works feverishly on his device, desperately trying to disrupt the claim signal, racing against time. The mechanical arm pauses, its sensors detecting their desperate resistance, but its cold, unfeeling purpose remains clear. The shadow is almost fully detached, a wispy, ethereal form fluttering towards the glowing slot, almost gone. The air crackles with the raw energy of the struggle, the Foundation's unyielding will against their desperate, choric TV defiancy. The horror of the moment is absolute, watching one of their own being slowly, irrevocably claimed by the insatiable machine. This is the settlement, the payment on schedule, the chilling consequence of FluffTown's quiet, manufactured comforts. The Foundation expects payment, and it will take it one piece at a time, until its ledger is finally balanced. The chosen crew member's face is a mask of pure terror, their eyes pleading silently for desperate, immediate intervention. The shadow pulses, almost free, almost consumed by the insatiable hunger of the obsidian core, reaching its destination. They cannot allow this, cannot let the Foundation claim one of their own, cannot let this cruel debt be settled. A surge of desperate strength courses through them. A final, unified resolve to fight against the inevitable. The air grows thick with the Foundation's triumph, its mechanical heart thrumming with anticipated victory. Their every effort seems insufficient against the immense, ancient power of this ledger-driven entity. Yet, they refuse to yield, their bonds of loyalty stronger than the Foundation's cold. Calculating logic, with a desperate, unified cry, they lunge, grabbing at the ethereal shadow, attempting to yank it back from the brink. Their hands pass through its form, yet a strange, resistant force allows them to grasp its shimmering edges. They pull with all their might, a desperate tug-of-war against the Foundation's relentless, consuming, terrifying power. The shadow stretches, elongating, then tears with a sound like ripping cloth, a soft, horrific, agonizing, rending. A piece of the shadow detaches, a shimmering fragment pulled irrevocably into the hungry, glowing slot, vanishing. The mechanical arm retracts, its mission partially accomplished, its movements now imbued with chilling, quiet satisfaction. The obsidian core hums, a deep, resonant thrum of contentment. Its immediate hunger momentarily appeased, its purpose fulfilled. Partial payment accepted, the speaker announces, its voice smooth. Once more, a chilling declaration of the Foundation's victory. The remaining shadow reintegrates with the chosen crew member, leaving them shaken, but profoundly, irrevocably incomplete. A vital piece of their essence is gone, irrevocably taken, a silent, painful testament to the Foundation's absolute power. They stare at the core, their faces etched with horror and a desperate, burning resolve for future revenge. Above ground, the first faint rays of dawn begin to pierce the bruised sky, painting it with pale, cold light. The unsettling calm of FluffTown returns, a fragile piece, bought with a piece of their very soul. E tidi Budacosta. The speaker, above ground, echoing throughout the town, broadcasts its final, chilling, unavoidable announcement. The settlement is complete, the voice declares, its tone resonant, carrying across the recalmed silent streets. One fixer has been claimed, it continues, leaving a lingering, horrifying question in the dawn's quiet, empty air. One fixer will be claimed at dawn, it reiterates, a cold, undeniable promise for the coming, inevitable day. The words hang in the nascent morning air, a terrifying premonition of future, inevitable collection awaiting its due. The crew stands in the engine room, their faces pale, knowing the Foundation's ledger is never truly, fully balanced. The dawn breaks fully, illuminating their grim resolve, but also the chilling, stark reality of their new, heavy debt. Their fight is far from over. The Foundation has merely initiated its cruel, unending cycle of payment and suffering. The cliffhanger looms large, a silent promise of future battles, and the ultimate terrible cost of FluffTown's peace. The air grows cold with the dawn's arrival, a stark reminder of the Foundation's relentless, unfeeling schedule. They are now marked, their names forever, etched in the Foundation's ledger, awaiting the next, inevitable payment. The weight of this new debt presses down, a suffocating burden, a chilling promise of what lies ahead. A silent vow passes between them, a desperate commitment to reclaim what was lost, no matter the cost. But for now, the dawn brings only questions, and the chilling certainty that one of them is truly, irrevocably gone. The Foundation's shadow stretches long across the town, a silent, menacing reminder of its enduring power. They feel the hollow ache of the stolen piece, a phantom limb of their very spirit, forever missing. The quiet of the morning is deceptive, concealing the deep, unhealed wounds inflicted by this brutal settlement. A single black feather drifts from the rafters, landing softly on the floor. A dark, ominous prophecy. It whispers of future debts, of choices yet unmade, and the ever-present threat of the ledger's claim. The crew remains, bound by their shared loss, their resolve hardened by the Foundation's cruel, undeniable victory. They know the price of peace, and it is a currency too precious, too deeply personal, to ever truly accept. The path ahead is shrouded in uncertainty, but their purpose is clear, to dismantle this system, no matter the cost. The The sun rises higher, casting long, accusing shadows, highlighting the new, unbearable weight of their collective burden. FluffTown awakes to a new day. But for the fixers, the true dawn of their desperate, unending war has just begun.